Hi everyone, welcome to my review of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, directed by Mel Stuart from 1971. So yes, we are back once again, ready to discuss another film on the channel. This time around, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, a film that's always meant a lot to me growing up, and one that I look forward to discussing today on the channel. But first of all, there will be a spoiler warning for this discussion. If you haven't seen this film, I simply recommend seeing it first, and then come back to this video, and we can go from there. We can talk about this from the comments, and hear your opinion on this film. And so yeah, with what I said, let's discuss my thoughts on this film. And yeah, as I say, this is one that's always meant a lot to me growing up, and I've always loved this film. For me, it's just one of the most magical kind of family films, like this. And I think just seeing once again this film, it being at least 10 years since I saw this film. I don't know when it was that I last watched this one, but many, many years ago. I just hadn't got around to rewatching this one, of course, and saw it on Blu-ray, and absolutely stunning film this, and such a magical experience, and once again, just purely uplifting, kind of otherworldly film at times, and I think especially when they get, to the gates of the chocolate factory, and as well, obviously when they go into the factory itself, and from then on, it's just one of the most magical films, really. Of course, everyone knows the story of this, and very simple, where we have this child of Charlie, and he lives with his family. Grandpa Joe is obviously one of the main characters that goes along with him, in this film to the factory, and basically he wants to, get this golden ticket. He dreams of going to the factory, the chocolate factory, and to experience this kind of magical moment. And obviously, all these tickets, as we know, are kind of going around, and the 5 golden tickets, and we have the first 35-40 minutes being that, really the setup, the build-up, quite a big kind of lengthy build-up really before they get, kind of to the gates of the factory, and then, go into the factory itself and experience all this kind of fantasy. And I think that's really cool, because we have this kind of, the more of the kind of just everyday kind of Charlie, and seeing his home and all this kind of stuff, and seeing the streets, and then they go into, the factory, and it's all kind of, more magical from there, and it's kind of even more of a heightened experience, really, because we've had this build-up where it's not, in the factory, it's not really fantasy-based at all, and, I think this is just so cool, and, I loved various moments in the build-up. I will say some of the songs, at first, are not, ones that I particularly love. It was just a couple, really, here and there, in the first act of the film, particularly the one, in the shop at first, before Charlie comes into it, of course, and just this kind of random sweet shop, and I know what they're trying to do, but it just, the way, that's kind of, it kind of just goes straight into the song, and the song itself, and just the way that scene plays out, it just wasn't really one that I was huge on. And then, of course, though, Charlie is introduced into the film, and Peter Ostrum playing Charlie, and he's just great in this film. And obviously, as well, we have Charlie kind of going back to the house, and it's a great kind of whimsical moment when he's running down the streets, and we see, of course, Grandpa Joe, and played by Jack Albertson, and he is just great in this film, and just so magical as well. Just a kind of really lovable character, and one that the connection between him and Charlie is just so kind of it's so profound, it's so uplifting and moving, and I think the fact that he goes with Charlie to the factory, he's the one that accompanies him, and goes through this experience, that is just so magical, and I just loved Grandpa Joe, such a great kind of lovable character, just really kind of just innocent character, and one such a great performance from Jack Albertson, and I think as well, when we get to the factory, around the 35-40 minute mark, when they get to the gates, and it's this whole epic grand kind of build up, I just love that, kind of the bells and whistles of this, and the way this is directed, it's just so stunning, and I think the production across the board, especially when we get into the factory, it's just something else, it's otherworldly, the sets, the kind of the colour palette of this, and it's just so colourful, and just so magical, of course, wonderful experience, and just when we get to that kind of legendary iconic moment, where of course we have imagination, and Gene Wilder's kind of singing, and just I think all this kind of introduction to the kind of fantasy land that is the inside of the factory, this is just one of the greatest moments really in cinema, and I think that whole kind of song, that sequence, and the boat ride as well. After that, shortly after that, it's just stringing together these legendary sequences, and from then on, it's just really the rest of the film. It's just it's truly stunning, and just magical, uplifting, otherworldly, kind of fantastical. It's warm and relatable fantasy, and something you can kind of get invested in. But it's also stuff you can't quite put your finger on. I think subtle moments, kind of strange moments that add to the mystery and add to the actual just the experience, in a positive way. And I think Gene Wilder, when we get to the factory, we have the kind of introduction, and he walks down the red carpet, and very slowly, and it's kind of the mystery has been built up so well. Kind of no one's seen Willy Wonka all this time. We hear all these different stories. We have Slugworth as well, just coming into the film, and in the first act, he's kind of whispering into the kids' ears, and just so much mystery here, stuff that we don't really know what's going on, and all the kind of subtle moments here, and then when Willy Wonka is finally revealed, he comes out the doors and walks through the gates, and he comes down the red carpet, and it's just this kind of really unexpected moment. Everyone's kind of in shock. I think that is just so well done, and obviously it is ad-libbed as well. So Gene Wilder kind of thought this up, and kind of the walking, the reactions are genuine, and the actual pretending to fall forward, and then the roll there and the flip, bounce up. That's all kind of improv and spontaneous. So that is really something else. It's one of the most kind of iconic reveals of a character in cinema history. So we've got the great build up to Willy Wonka, we've got the reveal, and then the rest of the film. Wow, just the more we learn about him, the more we kind of at times don't know. And just truly get to the bottom of this character. But I think that's one of the best things about this, and I think Gene Wilder in this film is nothing short of perfection here. I think this is one of the best really performances of all time. I think it's just masterful, and it's just unbelievable, this performance, this character, the writing of course, and the way it's directed and kind of built up, as I say, and the reactions from Charlie and his grandpa as well, Grandpa Joe, and all the characters really, and how they view Willy Wonka, and the build up, the shot as well, that great shot of the factory at night time with Charlie, the gates, and just from afar, everything about this, and then Gene Wilder's performance, it just makes for one of the greatest kind of characters and performances in cinema history. And I think just the gradual, I love as well, how the gradual kind of introduction of the kids that are going to the factory, and also the kind of, if you will, kind of elimination, like a game show, kind of elimination from the factory as I go through this, and obviously Mike TV is the last one, and then Charlie's the final kid who's left, and when I saw this as a kid, there's times where the bit before the final moments, the bit where Willy Wonka shouts, it's quite scary to me, and just shouts at Charlie and says obviously good day, and because the kind of saying that you failed, you kind of tampered with the the kind of the factory here, you broke the rules, and then the act of kindness, how it links in with Slugworth, of course, and the everlasting gobstopper, and I think the moment when Charlie does give this to Willy Wonka, gives it back to him, that is such a great moment, and the reaction from Willy Wonka, and that kind of twist, really, of course, where we didn't think that would happen, and it does, kind of lead to, Willy Wonka saying you've won, just after the shouting and all this, and thinking that Charlie has come all this, well, he thinks he's come all this way for nothing, and he's so disappointed, and Grandpa Joe reactions there, and then the final moment there, we have the reaction from Willy Wonka, and it's just one of the most kind of uplifting moments, and really epic final act in general, but the moment then when Willy Wonka, Grandpa Joe, and of course Charlie kind of go into the elevator, and it kind of takes off, and it goes and it flies into the sky there, and you see all the shots of the city there, and then from afar kind of viewing this, and just the final lines, they're so stunning, so profound. I think when Willy Wonka is talking to Charlie, and revealing that actually the plan of all of this kind of the show, and putting on these golden tickets, and inviting all the kids to the factory, was actually just him trying to find a successor to this, and he offers, of course, Charlie to kind of be able to run this, and to take over the factory, and to live in this factory with his family, his entire family as well, and it's just something that is so inspiring and so kind of uplifting, and such a happy ending. And that line, they go one step further and say, when Willy Wonka, Gene Wilder says, kind of, what happens when you kind of follow your dreams and all this kind of stuff, you live happily ever after, and that is just such a wonderful line, and I think it's just so inspiring, and because Charlie perhaps maybe doubting this, and it's too good to be true, but then Willy Wonka is actually just kind of inspiring him even more, and just kind of assuring him that he is in good hands, and he can just enjoy this kind of running the factory, and this whole kind of magical fantasy land is now his, and it's just such an inspiring kind of film, and I think the narrative throughout, it's just so kind of filled with wonder, and this kind of a sense of awe and magic, and several built up. As I say, there's some parts at the beginning that I wasn't huge on, some of the songs, and a couple of moments here and there, but really you know, I still love the first act. But after the first act, you know, and kind of when they get to the factory gates and, you know, they go into the factory, from then on, really, this is, you know, pretty masterful. And, you know, I think especially, you know, quite a few of the sequences, including Imagination. And, you know, I just love the whole kind of sequence there. It's one of the most magical moments in film. And, you know, I think the kind of boat ride as well, and just the rest of the film, it's just so stunning and so investing. Just love all the characters, you know, all the kind of families, you know, the kids, and the four other kids as well that go to the factory. So iconic. They've got their own kind of unique traits, and they all kind of stand out, you know, and they kind of get picked off, as I say, eliminated one by one, and it's only Charlie in the end that's left, and it's just so well done, you know, the kind of flow of this and the direction, and just the way it's kind of edited. The production to this is absolutely stunning. As I say, all the sets and the colours, it just really is such a, you know, kind of magical film, this, and you know, it's got some of the most kind of, you know, wondrous kind of moments, you know, in film, really, at times. And you know, I think Gene Wilder, as I say, especially in this film, is legendary, and you know, I think it's one of the best performances really in cinema history. And you know, he makes this film so special. But you know, so many things come together in this, all of the elements really, the songs for the most part. You know, the score to this is absolutely stunning, especially we have the kind of renditions of you know, Imagination throughout the score. And you know, I love the boat ride as well. You've got horror elements in this, the Oompa Loompas as well, you know, renditions of their songs, they kind of have recurring throughout the film. I love how they appear, and you know, just all the makeup to this, and just the charm of them as well, and how they're kind of the backstory and how they've been with Willy Wonka, you know, for so long, and just how they help him, and you know, it's just such a sense of magic to this, and you know, all the Oompa Loompa songs, obviously as well, etched in my memory. And you know, as a kid, I just loved all this. And again, some scary moments, especially as a kid. You know, I did get scared of this a bit, but just a couple of moments, especially the boat ride though, and the ending to the film where you know, he shouts at Willy Wonka. But you know, it's just filled with magic. This one, you know, so inspiring, so kind of warm and you know, uplifting, and yeah, it's just truly, you know, a stunning film. It's interesting how this film was not initially, you know, kind of a massive success, but now, of course, it's very iconic, and you know, from the 80s really, especially, it started to pick up, and you know, people were viewing this a lot more, and yeah, it's something that I've always grown up, you know, watching and loving, and it's quite interesting to note that you know, it was initially, you know, not a massive success, and it was more kind of just this cult film, but now it is obviously one of the most iconic films really, and you know, all these parts in the factory, and obviously Gene Wilder and all this stuff, you know, it is one of the most iconic films in a sense. But yeah, regardless of that, you know, this for me is an absolutely stunning film, and you know, it's really one of the most magical films at times. It's so uplifting, so inspiring, and it means so much to me. And it's definitely a film that I count, you know, on my favourite films list, and you know, I do love this film so much. So while there are a few things here and there that are not quite, you know, to the level of the rest of the film, and some things that are not great for me, and you know, I'm not huge on, just a couple of elements here and there, a couple of songs, as I said, and you know, just parts of the film early on. The rest of the film, you know, really is quite masterful, and you know, I think just as soon as they get, you know, to the factory gates and all this, it's just from then on unbelievable cinema. And you know, for me overall, you know, this is just you know, a truly magical film, inspiring, uplifting, feel good, and just yeah, it's so kind of moving and emotional in the end as well. And so my rating for this film is a 97%. So yeah, extremely high score from me. You know, I absolutely love this film. Watching it, you know, just it really uplifted me so much. It's such a pure film, and you know, it's just you know, really so human, and you know, kind of profound, and it's just kind of a spiritual experience, this journey adventure, you know, that Charlie and his grandpa Joe as well goes on, and you know, through this factory, and the world that's created, not just in the factory but beforehand. The kind of build up, you know, times is stunning, and you know, I think when we get into the factory, it's this whole kind of other world that is created, of course, by Willy Wonka, and it's this whole kind of fantasy land really, and it's just the way that, you know, the sets are done, the chocolate as well, the river, and everything about this, you know, the interior of this factory, it's just unbelievable stuff, and it's just to look at visually, it's stunning. The score to this film is unbelievable, and you know, I think just the characters, the charm, all of the side characters really, you know, even Slugworth as well, someone who built up at first and then reappears once again in the final act, and the twists and turns, you know, of this, and the reveals at the end, it just enhances the whole kind of emotional, kind of human side of this, and brings out even more of Willy Wonka as a character, you know, and his whole kind of plans, and we get to the bottom of really why, you know, he'd done this, and it's for a good reason, and you know, it's just really stunning. Well, also, yeah, even though we learn more about Willy Wonka at the end, there's still kind of this mystery and kind of kind of a strange, bizarre nature to him, which I think is great. That's left intact, and I think Gene Wilder, especially in this film, gives, as I said, one of the greatest performances of all time, and I think it's just a masterful performance. And as I say, the entire the sequences in the factory is kind of the great songs, the kind of concepts to this, and the way it's pulled off is stunning. It really, really is. And as I say, overall, this film is just truly inspiring to me. It's a wonderful, magical ending, feel good, uplifting, and really is a magical ending where they fly off, and that's the Wonka Vader flying off with them in it to the clouds, and then the credits come on, and what an ending that is. One of my favourite endings really in cinema history, and just the way that they do it, kind of leave it on that note, them flying over, and they don't go back to anything else after that. Just leave it on a high note, literally, and it's just a truly magical film. This, and I absolutely love this film. Personally, definitely on my favourite films list, and really wonderful, magical experience I had watching this film again, and just a stunning film that I think is such a wonderful film to watch, and was a great experience of seeing this again. And so that's my thoughts. What do you think on this film? We've got to hear in the comments, your thoughts, your opinions and experiences of this film over the years, and it'd be really cool to discuss this film in the comments. So as always, take care, and thanks for watching.